Hey, what's up guys? It's Andrew here again. This week I'm going to come with you with a top 10 remakes video. Horror remakes. So, horror remakes are not necessarily the most, I don't want to say popular brand. People love to hate on remakes, but I actually enjoy them. So, I'm going to give you a top 10 list. Before I start, I just want to say that there's a couple here that I'm not going to include. That's Prom Night, Silent Night, and Friday the 13th. I just don't consider those movies remakes. Also, I didn't include The Stepfather. I don't know whether or not to consider this a horror remake. It's more of a thriller, so I don't know. At least that movie is. Also, I didn't include John Carpenter's The Thing, which that would probably be my obvious one, but I haven't seen the original, so I feel like it's unfair to say that like I like the remake and stuff, but I mean obviously it would be my number one if I put it on. So, but without further ado, I'm going to get on with my list here. Starting at number 10, that's Evil Dead 2013 remake. This is a phenomenal movie, man. It is just brutal. I enjoy it so much. It's such a, I mean, it's obviously more serious and tries more for like the horror, just like really scary, but I feel like it does a really good job at it. So, I mean, I think the acting's good. It's got a really good atmosphere. I feel like I really will enjoy the sequels that they come out with, because I know that there's talks about sequels. So, but yeah, that's number 10. Number 9, The Uninvited. Now, this movie actually was, I have to thank my brother for this one here, because he got me onto this movie. I watched it on Sci-Fi one day with him, and it's actually really good. I really enjoy the story. It's very much a story-based movie, very much a character movie. It's the remake of A Tale of Two Sisters. I believe it's a Japanese horror film. I have seen parts of it. I have not seen the whole thing. However, I can say I like the atmosphere in this a little bit better than the remake. It just doesn't mean that I have these on my list that I like them more or less than the originals. I just mean these are my top 10 remakes in general. But yeah, I mean, this is a really good film. It's kind of underrated. I feel like it's not talked about hardly ever. So, I mean, yeah, it's The Uninvited. So, that's number 9. And at number 8, very, very, very mixed reviews when it came out into theaters, but Rob Zombie's Halloween. At first, I gotta admit, I really hated this movie. Not just the backstory, but the white trash version of Michael Myers. I just really didn't feel like it fit in. But this movie honestly has grown on me the more that I've watched it. I've watched it over and over, and I watch it probably twice every Halloween, and probably watch it a couple more times throughout the year. And I really enjoy it. You know, the thing is if they didn't do a backstory, just went with a straight remake, it would have been okay. It probably would have satisfied a little bit more fans. But the thing is that the original Halloween is perfect the way that it is. It does not need to be remade. So if you're gonna do a remake of it, which Hollywood wants to do, I feel like you should do it differently. And this is the way to do it differently. And, you know, it's a bold vision. I like the actors. I like Danielle Harris. I like Scout Taylor Compton as Laurie Strode. I like Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis, although I don't like him as good as Donald Pleasance, obviously, but he does a really fine job. Rob Zombie does a really good job at directing this. This is very well directed, pretty well made horror film. Dialogue could be better, but it is what it is. I really like this, though. That's number 8. Coming in at number 7 is a remake of Wes Craven's first horror movie, the 2009 Last House on the Left. I really like this movie. I really like the characters of this film. I think that I like these kinds of films because they really make you think of like, what would you do in these kinds of situations? Because it makes you conflict with your own worldview of like, man, you know, if you're you know, a pacifist, or if you're, you know, and you watch this movie and you're rooting with the people who are attacking the killers, and you're rooting with them, and you're like, wait, that's not, and it just makes you conflict. I love these kinds of movies that really challenge you like this. It's a really, really well made film. I think this is an absolutely beautifully directed film too. That was one thing that strikes me more than the original, is that the original's more gritty, more like it just makes you feel dirty. This movie's much more it's much more beautifully filmed. It would be like Wes Craven got his idea of this from the Virgin Springs, so it'd be kind of like a more Virgin Springs version of The Last House on the Left. So, yeah, I mean, I can't really talk about it much. Monica Potter does a phenomenal job as a mother. Tony Goldwyn does a great job as a father. Wes Craven, yeah, that was his film. It was a remake of it. Actually, it's my only Wes Craven remake on this list. So, Wes Craven's my favorite director, but 10, 9, 8, 7. This is at number 6. Coming in at number 6, I have When a Stranger Calls. The original, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of. I've watched it twice now. The one last time, I watched it the whole way straight through with my brother. I did not like it, honestly. I thought that it had like 35 minutes of really good footage. I think that this does the most with the first 20 minutes of the original movie. And I feel like I just enjoy these characters. I don't know what it is about Camilla Belle and Katie Cassidy as the two friends. I don't know what it is, but I just enjoy their characters. Like, there's something about this movie. The atmosphere is really good. It's got some false scares and stuff like that, yeah, but all in all, I don't know. There's just some movies that you just like this, where there's like, you just like the characters. And so, yeah, I mean, it's not the best directed movie, but I think it is a great suspense thriller horror film, and it works really well for me. Coming at number 5 is the remake to Let the Right One In, and this is Let Me In. I think this is an absolutely beautifully filmed movie. I mean, that's just, it's what's striking about it. There are some parts that I would say that I like better than the original. This, I think that the way that it is filmed makes things a little bit more personal than the original Let the Right One In. Like, for example, whenever the kid is hitting the bully with a stick towards the end of the movie, the angle that it is, it's much more of an intimate angle than the original. The original one's further away. And so, like, I felt the impact more, you know, and I think killing people in a car, kind of where you're most vulnerable, is like, I think it adds a really good creepy effect to this. I am a huge fan of Chloe Grace Moretz. This is not the only time you see her on this list. I just think she does a great job in her films. Matt Reeves is a wonderful director. I think that this gets unfairly hated on by some of the fans. I don't see it. I think it does the original justice, and I think it's a really good American version of it. Coming in at number 4, this might be a surprise, but this isn't on a lot of lists, but this is The Grudge. This is nowhere near as good as the original Jew on The Grudge. I do own that right back here. But this has, I don't know, like, I still like the premise of it, and I still think that it has a great atmosphere. I don't like it as good as the second one, but I did keep this list to just first remakes, no Halloween, Rob Zombie Halloween 2 or The Grudge 2 or something like that. But this movie just, I don't know, it's still scary. It's not as scary as the original movie, but I like Sarah Michelle Gellar. Her character's really good in this film. She has really good scenes where you feel very vulnerable for her, like the ending. Like, I just felt for her character. I think too many jump scares, but I still love the premise to the story. I'm a huge fan of Eastern culture, so that catches my attention really fast. Alright, so that was number 4. Coming in number 3, Sorority Row. This is the remake to the 1983 House on Sorority Row. This film, oh my god, this is everything that a slasher film should be. This is just sleazy, it is campy, it is fun, it's got great characters, it's got great kills, it's got pretty decent suspense. It's got some good jump scares too. I like this film. I really think that like the main leads here and just the sorority sisters in general are just perfect for the film. Like, I don't know what, but like this is another one that if I do like movies that aren't talked about, this remake here, one that is never heard of. You never really hear people talking about it, but I really recommend checking this out. This is one of my favorite remakes. This is my 3rd favorite remake. It's phenomenal. I really have a really blast with it. If you like fun, just have one hell of a good time watching a movie, this is the one to watch right here. Coming in at number 2, I don't know if you'll see this really good with the lenticular cover, but number 2 is My Bloody Valentine 3D. Yeah, I love this lenticular cover. You can see it pretty good there. I really think Patrick Lussier really did a good job at directing this film. Seeing his 3 Dracula movies, I really had low hopes of this film, but this blows me away with the writing, the direction, the atmosphere of the film. I think the characters are some of the best and most well-written characters in any slasher film. I mean, you got this like love triangle, but like it's done in a respectful way and in a more realistic way than say a Twilight or something else like that. It's done in a very realistic way, and it's you're running to pick sides, and it gets you emotionally involved in the way that the kills are. Oh my god, if you're a fan of gore, holy shit, does this movie have gore? Because this if you're a gorehound, you found this here. I think it's probably the most violent rated R film I've definitely seen in theaters. I don't know how this movie got rated R, but I mean, yeah, I don't really like the 3D conversion with watching the. let me just bring these out real quick. The 3D glasses here with the blue and the green, or the red and the green. Yeah, it's not very good. I get a headache from watching it, but honestly, just watching it 2D is fine. I think it's great. Yeah, that's number 2. And at number 1, I'm kind this might piss a few people off, but my number 1, again, a lenticular cover, Carrie. This movie had pretty mixed reviews coming out into theaters. I did not see it in its original theatrical run. I saw it afterwards. I saw it twice, and you know, this, like, the first time I watched it, I really liked it, and then the second time I watched it, I realized I really loved it. The reason why I love this film so much, and no disrespect to the original in any way, but what I think this film does better than the original, and what I wanted, what I thought, what in my mind, and remember, these are just my opinions, so this isn't like, you know, obviously definitive lists or anything, these are just my opinions. What I think the original, what I think this should be is a drama, a horror drama told through the lens of all the teenagers. And you really get to see it through mainly Carrie's eyes in this movie, but she isn't the only focus of this film. Like in the original, you have Carrie and her mother. And in this one, you have Carrie and her mother, and they don't play as much of a role as they do. I mean, they're basically the only... Honestly, I did not know after watching the original Carrie twice, I did not know the names of the people other than Carrie and her mom. Like, I just in this movie, I get to know all their names. I get to know, like, you get to have, like, a really lot of character development with these people. And Carrie's character arc in this film I really like a lot better than in the original. The effects are a little bit better in this film, but I mean that doesn't really help the film make me like it more. I just think that I like the characters, the way they're written better, and Kimberly Price is the perfect choice to direct this film. I like the way that she directed it. I really cared for the characters, but yeah. So 2 lenticular covers there. Number 10, Evil Dead, great stuff. Uninvited. Number 8, Halloween. Number 7, Last House on the Left. Number 6, When a Stranger Calls. Number 5, Let Me In. Number 4, The Grudge. Number 3, Sorority Row. Number 2, My Bloody Valentine. And number 1, Carrie. Alright guys, so that's my second video here. I will... please let me know what you think. My next video is probably going to be my entire collection here. So I'll be making a Blu-ray and 2 DVD collections videos. And then I'll probably be doing updates each month. But my next top 10 video, I haven't decided what I wanted to do yet, but I think I might do underrated films. So just be looking out for those videos. I'll probably be uploading one each week. Thanks for watching, and yeah, thanks. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Yeah, have a good night, guys.